देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Today I'm going to sing Nitya Seva Mangu. The words will be projected on the screen. And then I'll be explaining the words. नित सेवा मांगूं श्यामा श्याम तेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगूं मैं। नित सेवा मांगूं श्यामा श्याम तेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगूं मैं। बाढ़े भक्ति निष्काम नित मेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगूं मैं। बाढ़े भक्ति निष्काम नित मेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगूं मैं। नित सेवा मांगूं श्यामा श्याम तेरी, मांगूं मैं। तो ही पतित जनन ही प्यारे हैं, हम अगणित पापन वारे तो ही पतित जनन ही प्यारे हैं, हम अगणित पापन वारे हैं। पुनीकत कर एतिक बेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगूं मैं। पुनीकत कर एतिक बेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगूं मैं। नित सेवा मांगूं श्यामा श्याम तेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगूं मैं। यदि कहा उन लई शरणाई रे, कहू कत पूतना गति पाई रे। यदि कहा उन लई गति पाई रे। अब बेर ना करू चेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। अब बेर ना करू चेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। नित सेवा मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। ये भली है बुरी है जो है तेरी है, तुम भी सोचो सचमुच यहाँ मेरी है। ये भली है बुरी है जो है तेरी है, तुम भी सोचो सचमुच यहाँ मेरी है। सोचत ही बनी जाए मेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। सोचत ही बनी जाए मेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। नित सेवा मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। नित सेवा मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। तेरी इच्छा में इच्छा बनाती रहूं, तेरे सुख में ही सुख नित पाती रहूं। तेरी इच्छा में इच्छा बनाती रहूं, तेरे सुख में ही सुख नित पाती रहूं। बस चाह यही एक मेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। बस चाह यही एक मेरी, ना भुक्ति नाही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। बिनु हेतु कृपालु कहाते हो, बिनु हेतु कृपालु कहाते हो। करवाते हो। सुनु विनय कृपालु जो मेरी, ना भुक्ति ना ही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। सुनु विनय कृपालु जो मेरी, ना भुक्ति ना ही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। नित सेवा मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी, ना भुक्ति ना ही मुक्ति मांगू मैं। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। नित सेवा मांगू श्यामा श्याम तेरी. So the devotee is asking Shama and Sham, Radha and Krishna, for one thing, and that is seva, devotional service. May I always be engaged in your seva. I have been serving myself for countless lives. I have been serving those who are related to my body for countless lives. I have given everything I have, body, mind, wealth, everything that I possess. I have used it in the service of this body and those who are related to my body. But now I have learned from my Gurudev that everything I have has been given by you, and that wisdom lies in serving you with everything that I have. So I ask you not for pleasures of the world. I ask you not for pleasures of Swargalok, the celestial regions. I do not ask for pleasures of liberation. I only want to serve you. Nitya seva mangu. Badhe bhakti, my devotion, my selfless devotion for you should increase moment by moment. That is what I want. Badhe bhakti nishkam nit meri, na bhukti na hi mukti mangu mein. Bhukti and mukti are considered to be two witches by Rup Goswami, who says in his excellent scripture, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Bhukti mukti spriha yavat pishachi hridi vartate tavat bhakti sukhasyatra katham abhyudayo bhavet. He says, as long as bhukti and mukti, these two witches, are in your heart, the supreme goddess of bhakti, devotion, cannot enter your heart. Which means that we cannot really become devotees of God as long as we are harboring the desire for bhukti and mukti. Bhukti means pleasures of Maya, ranging from those found in this world and going up all the way up to the pleasures found in the topmost level of Swargalok, the seventh heaven, as we say it, as it is called, seventh heaven. So there are amazing pleasures that are there, but I do not want any one of those, and I don't even want liberation. Many people say to God, I don't want anything, but I just want liberation, mukti de do. But Gauranga Mahaprabhu has said that we should not ask for even liberation, even mukti, because desire is desire after all. And Sri Maharaji has emphasized this time and time again, that if you desire anything from God, that means that you are not selfless. But when you ask for seva, keep me busy in your service, then you are not serving yourself, but you're serving God and Guru selflessly. So following the the rules of selfless devotion, the devotee says, I want only to serve you. I want only that my devotion for you should increase day by day, moment by moment. Tohi patit janan hi pyare hai. I have heard that you have a special love for sinners. Hum agnit papa navare hain. And that is good news for me because I have committed uncountable sins. Some people say, let's not talk about us being sinners. Don't be so hard on yourself. But the fact is that we say this as long as we don't know the meaning, the meaning of sin. Sin does not mean only telling lies, stealing from others, coveting the property of another, committing murder, and so on and so forth, hurting someone. It means simply forgetfulness of God. It's a very powerful definition that our scriptures have given. That when we forget God, then we're doing nothing but committing sins. Now, we may be building a charitable hospital. We may be constructing a temple of God. We may be doing something very, very good for the benefit of society. But if God is missing, then all of these seemingly virtuous acts, selfless acts, turn out to be really sinful acts. And that surprises us. But it's only because we have not understood the meaning of the word sin, the gravity of the word sin, pap, forgetfulness of God. Bhagavad Vismaran, that is what pap is. So I have committed uncountable sins, but I have heard that you have special love for sinners. So then why is it that you are delaying in gracing me? Why is it that you are not accepting me? Then in the second stanza, the devotee says, and if you say that you accept only those who surrender to you, yadi kaha, if you say, yadi kaha unalai sharanai re, I accept those who surrender to you, who surrender to me, then, my Lord, I will say something very frankly to you. And that is, yadi kaha unalai sharanai re, kahu, tell me, kat putana gati pai re. Putana had come to kill you, but you killed her, and after killing her, you didn't send her to hell, you sent her to your divine kingdom to taste the bliss, divine bliss, for eternity. So the devotee is hinting at the fact that God has made an exception for Putana. Putana, when Bhagwan was only 6 days old, Shri Krishna was only 6 days old, Putana, who was in Kansa's employment, she had gone to kill all the little babies, all the babies that had just taken birth, all the newborns in that land. But with Shri Krishna's grace, she ended up first at Yashoda's house, and she made plans to snatch that little baby and to kill him. She flew up in the sky with him. And the fact is, how is it, we think she was a demoness, how is it that Yashoda allowed her to go into the house in the first place? Was security so lax? Well, she transformed into such a beautiful young lady that everyone who saw her just kept looking at her. If it was a man or woman, child, everyone who saw her was mesmerized by her. And she very quietly went into the house. She looked at Yashoda, and Yashoda thought, is this Mahalakshmi? Is this Parvati? Who is this? And Putana just went up to the cradle, picked up the baby, and went off with him. She had smeared poison on her body, and so she was trying to suckle the little baby, and then he ended up sucking the very life breath out of her and killed her. So Putana had gone to you with the intention to kill you, but you gave her your abode. So kahu, kat Putana gati paire. How is it? Tell me, how is it that Putana received your divine kingdom? She didn't surrender to you. The devotee is saying this. Of course, we know the fact, and that is that Putana was fully surrendered to him. She was not extremely, but 100% in love with Sri Krishna. And she was playing the part of a demoness who is going to kill him, the little child Krishna. But she was completely surrendered to him and only playing the part of a demoness. So Bhagwan Sri Krishna took note of her internal feelings and sent her to his abode, saying, I know you're just acting, and I know you're very surrendered to me, so you are playing the part that I have given you. Because when he descends to earth, he gives different parts to different devotees. And blessed are those, I think those devotees who accept the negative parts are definitely the greatest, because they agree to getting a bad reputation for all eternity. Now, everybody would like to play the part of a good guy. Like, I want to play Arjun, I want to play the part of Lord Krishna, I would like to play the part of Yudhishthir, Draupadi. But nobody would really say, oh, I want to play the part of Duryodhan, Dushasan, Ravan, Putana, Aghasur, Bakasur. These are negative personalities then. They played negative roles. But they are so great that their love is so great that they don't mind at all getting a bad reputation if this pleases their Lord. If God gives them this role to play, they embrace that role and they play it very well. So outwardly the devotee is saying, you broke the rule for Putana, you must break it for me also. But philosophy, of course, says, no, Putana was fully surrendered to him. So, ab ber na karu cheri. So now don't hum and haw any longer. Don't make me wait any longer. Don't delay this anymore. Just accept me as your servant. I am your servant. It is my birthright to serve you. Jivera Shwarup hoy Krishnera Nityadas. Gauranga Mahaprabhu says the individual soul is an eternal servant of Lord Krishna. So it is my birthright to serve you. So, O Shama and Sham, accept me as your humble servant. And then, ye bhali hai, buri hai, jo hai teri hai. Whether I'm good or bad, don't pay attention to that, because whether good or bad, I am yours. I belong to you. The Vedas and Vedic scriptures tell us that we don't belong to anyone else. We, the souls, we belong only to Sri Krishna. We belong only to God. We don't belong to this world. And the world does not belong to us. So whether I'm good or bad, just accept me, because I'm yours. So if a mother has a child who doesn't listen to her, who's completely disobedient, unruly, doesn't study, the mother says, Jaisa bhi hai, mera hi hai na. No matter how he is, this child is mine after all. Parents don't throw their children away just because they are unruly and because they behave badly. So I'm your child. I belong to you. So don't throw me away. I'm yours. Ye bhali hai, बुरी है जो है तेरी है. तुम भी सोचो सचमुच यह मेरी है. You also think that this one is truly my own. Sachmuch. It is a fact that this jivatma, this individual soul, is my very own. What will happen by God thinking that way? Because God is, his resolutions are self-fulfilling, His thoughts are self-fulfilling. So when you think that I am yours, that's all I need you to do, because then everything will be fixed. All my wrongs will be fixed. Everything will be fine. You just have to think that this Jivatma, is my very own. The scriptures say, Esha Atma Prahita Papma Vijaro Vimrityu Vishoko Vijighatso Pipasaha Satya Kamaha Satya Sankalpaha. God has 8 qualities. 6 of them, they're told in the negative, that he doesn't feel hungry, he doesn't feel thirsty, he's not affected by virtue or sin, like that. So 6 of them are like that. And then the last 2 are in the positive. He is Satyakam, his desires are self-fulfilling, and Satya Sankalpaha, his resolutions are self-fulfilling. How did God create this world? How did he manifest it? Just by thinking, let there be creation. And that's all he has to do. Let there be creation. Because his resolutions are self-fulfilling, creation is there. Let there be destruction. Let there be Mahapralay. And cosmic dissolution takes place just because he thought it. He didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to lift a finger. He just had to think. That's all. So why don't you just please think for me that I am your very own, and nothing else will have to be done. That's it. And I don't want anything else. I don't want bhukti. I don't want mukti. I just want to serve you for all eternity. And I have learned from my Guru that Teri ichha mein ichha banati rahu, tere sukh mein hi sukh nit pati rahu. I will desire what you desire, and I will be happy in your happiness. Jagadguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, Sri Maharaji, our Gurudev, has taught us, he has taught the whole world, the lesson of selfless love. He has taught the highest philosophy. Tat Sukha Sukhitvam, the philosophy that's in Narad Bhakti Darshan. Naradji has said, love God for the sake of his happiness, not for the sake of your own happiness. So if someone came to Sri Maharaji and said, Maharaji, I want to live in Mangar, Maharaji would say, all right, but one condition. Or there were actually a couple of conditions. One is, when you come and live in Mangar, then you should not think that you have another house that you can go to if this doesn't work out. That you have 2 homes. One is over here, and if I don't like it, I'll just go back. So this is like Jina yaha, marna yaha. That's it. When you are here, you're here for good. You come after being sure that you want to live here. Secondly, you will do the seva that I tell you to do. You will not dictate to me what seva you want to do. So typically what would happen is, if an individual thinks, I don't like washing dishes, big pots and pans. I could do anything but that. And Maharaji, reading his mind, would say, you go wash pots and pans. I don't want to go with a pracharak. I don't want to be an assistant to a pracharak. I want to just remain in Mangar. Maharaji would say, you go and help my pracharak, this one or that one. Maharaji, I like to work. I like to read and write. So could I have seva in the library? Maharaji said, no. You go into the office and you write receipts. You like writing? Write the receipts. In other words, you don't do the seva that pleases you. Do the seva that pleases the master. So tere sukh mein hi sukh nit pati rahu. I want to be happy in your happiness. I wish to desire what you desire. That is the philosophy of selfless love. That is true love. Anything else is selfishness. But this is true love, in which there is not even a trace of selfishness. So teri ichha mein ichha banati rahu, tere sukh mein hi sukh nit pati rahu. Bas chah ihai ik meri. That's the only desire that I have. Other desires, besides the desire for serving God and Guru selflessly, besides the desire to receive divine selfless love, every desire is selfish. Every desire is selfish. And desires are extremely dangerous. Our scriptures mention, they say that there are various creatures in God's kingdom that lose their lives in trying to fulfill just one desire. For instance, a deer has a desire to listen to music, and so attracted by the music, the deer falls into the trap, the hunter's trap. The elephant has a desire to roll around in the cool mud, and in trying to fulfill this desire, the elephant is caught because hunters are there. They want the ivory from the elephant. They want different things, so the elephant falls into the trap. The moth falls victim to the flame. The fish gets hooked because of its desire for taste, and the fisherman knows that. So the fish gets caught, it meets its end. Desires are extremely dangerous for us. And we humans, we have 5 desires that attack us all at once. They attack our mind all together. It's not like one comes and the other 4 wait. Okay, well, you go first. No, you go first. It's not like that. It's like 5 of them. The desires to see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. And all these 5 desires are attacking us all the time. They're extremely dangerous. And so Shri Maharaj Ji has said, खूब तरसाया है तेरी ही ख्वाहिशों ने तुझको, खूब तरसाया है तेरी ही ख्वाहिशों ने तुझको, अब तू भी इन ख्वाहिशों को कुछ तरसती छोड़ दे. In beautiful words, Shri Maharaj Ji has said, your desires have tormented you for countless lives. Now you get even with them by not accepting them. Let them be tormented by you. You say, no, I'm not going to accept you. Torment them as they have tormented you. The only desire to have is the desire to serve God and Guru selflessly. That's it. The devotee, true devotee, doesn't even say, oh Shri Krishna, give me darshan so that I may see you. He said, give me darshan or not, just give me your seva. That's what Maharaji teaches. You want seva. Seva is the ultimate. So, Nit seva mangu shama sham teri na bhukti na hi mukti mangu mein. In the last stanza, Shri Maharaj Ji says, on behalf of the aspiring devotee, Binu hetu kripalu kahate ho. I have heard you being called unconditionally merciful. You bestow your grace without any strings attached. Like you are just unconditionally merciful, causelessly merciful. But if that is the case, my Lord, then puni kyun sadhan karvate ho? Why is it that you require me to do sadhana? Why is it that I need to do devotion? I need to practice devotion first, then you will grace me. I don't understand that. Sunu vinay kripalu ju meri. Listen to this. Please hear me out, hear my cries, and accept me. So the last stanza could be very confusing. I have heard that you are causelessly merciful. Saints have said this. Tulsidas Ji, for instance, has said that Bhagwan Ram is causelessly merciful. Binu seva jo drave deen par Ram saris ko nahi ऐसो को उदार जग माही. In Vinay Patrika, Saint Tulsidas says, Bhagwan Ram is causelessly merciful. Binu karan, binu seva jo drave deen par. We don't have to do anything and he graces us. But then why do you require me to do sadhana? Why do you require me to practice devotion first, then you grace me? And then we think, oh, I've stumped him. What's he going to say? I have stumped Radha and Krishna. What are they going to say? How are they going to get out of this one? You're causelessly merciful. Give me your mercy without me having to do anything. The answer to this that God would give us, and Sri Maharaji has explained it in this way, is that God is absolutely merciful and unconditionally merciful. He doesn't have any conditions attached to, there's no strings attached to his, there's no conditions that he attaches to the recipient of his grace. Before you can receive my grace, you have to do this, this. He said, I'll give you my grace free of charge. Anyone can come and get it. All right, so I'm asking you for grace. But grace, the grace of God, that divine love, the ultimate acquisition, divine love, Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, I'm willing to give it. The Guru says, I'm willing to give it. But why don't you give it? Because divine love can only be contained in a pure heart. So you just bring me the proper receptacle in which to receive this love. You mean I have to bring you a pure heart? Yes. Bring a pure heart to me, and I shall give you my grace free of charge. Okay, so what do I do to make my heart pure? And that's where scriptures and saints and God say, you need to practice devotion. Do sadhana. Shed tears. Tears of longing. Tears of love. Tears of separation from him. Tears of union with him. Shed all these kinds of tears. And those tears that are shed for God and Guru, they will purify your heart. And then that heart, that purified heart, pure heart, becomes a worthy recipient, a receptacle that will contain God's grace. If Sri Krishna were to give his grace, pour his grace into a material heart, impure heart, then that heart will be blown to smithereens. It will not be able to contain that power. That love, that grace is so powerful that it cannot be contained by an impure heart. That heart would be destroyed. So you have to bring me a pure heart, says Sri Krishna. Nirmal man jan so mohi pava, mohi kapat chal chhidr na bhava. The Ramcharitmanas says, in that Bhagwan Sri Ram says, I want only the pure heart. I don't like a deceptive heart. Mohi kapat chal chhidr na bhava. I don't like deception. I don't like deceptive ways. I don't like this cleverness you have. Just leave it all. Just throw it all away. Become innocent like a child. Become pure-hearted. Then I will give you my grace. So God cannot be accused of breaking his promise, because he does say, he says, I will give you my grace unconditionally, and he means it. Why we are asked to do sadhana is so that we may prepare the heart, a heart that will be able to contain the divine grace of God. So, binu hetu kripalu kahate ho, you are called causelessly merciful. Then why do you ask me to do sadhana? Puni kyon sadhan karvate ho? Now we have the answer that Sri Maharaji has explained to us. So seva is first and foremost concept. And Sri Maharaji has said that there's nothing bigger than seva. And we must always remember that. Because when we do seva, we are doing seva plus sadhana. Internally, we're doing sadhana. Externally, we're doing seva. We are thinking, I'm doing this to please my Guru. I'm doing this to please my Lord. So when you're doing sadhana, we're just doing sadhana. When we're doing seva plus sadhana. That is the reason Sri Maharaji has said that seva will always be the greatest concept. It will always be even bigger than sadhana. Of course, we need to do sadhana that will prepare us, that will that will teach us and that will prepare us so that we are able to think about God and Guru as we render seva. So that when we are doing seva, we should be so fortified by sadhana that when we are doing seva, then feelings of pride don't come in. Feelings of envy don't come into the heart. Feelings of anger and resentment don't come into the heart. Seva is a privilege. There was a saint, and he had wealth, and he would sit outside his house every day in the morning, and he would give wealth away. But he had his eyes downcast all the time. Another saint came and said, "Why do you have your eyes cast downwards? Why are you so embarrassed?" And he said, "I'm embarrassed. I feel very ashamed, embarrassed when people think that I'm giving something that belongs to me. I'm only giving away what God has given. So what I'm giving away is not mine. It is the property of God. But people think that I'm the giver, so my head bows itself. I just hang my head down in embarrassment." And that is the sentiment that we should have, that whatever I'm serving with, whether I'm serving physically or financially, I'm not giving away anything that's mine. I am not, I should not be patting myself on the back and saying, "Way to go, you've done so much seva." And we must never think that we've done enough seva now, end of seva, that's it. Seva is our birthright. Seva is a privilege. Seva is our savior, because it will give us the greatest grace of God. God will accept us. Guru will accept us. And Sri Maharaji has always said, Maharaji always used to say, if you're going to work so hard at God realization, then you may as well go to the topmost level. Why go to the second top? the one below the topmost. Just go to the topmost level. In other words, be completely selfless. And seva was a concept that Sri Maharaji could never tire of talking about. Sometimes, a couple of times, I have seen Maharaji. I was there in the sadhana hall when Maharaji said, "Whatever you have in your bags or pocket, just give it over here." So everybody would empty their pockets, or they would empty their little bag they had. If they had the handbag or some book bag, whatever money they had, they would just put it in there. So Maharaji taught again and again that this is not yours. This belongs to God. So give it and don't have any pride about giving it. Of course, seva does not mean only financial seva. It means physical seva as well. And both these financial and physical seva, they will bring God and Guru into the mind so that we can do the best seva, the greatest seva of all, which is the mind seva that we do in our mind, manasi seva, so that God and Guru will come into our mind, so that we can do Rup Dhyan properly. That's what it is. So if we shy away from seva, we say, I want to do a lot of Rup Dhyan, it's not going to happen. God and Guru will not come into the heart, they will not come into the mind unless we're making some sacrifices in doing seva, physical, financial. I may be repeating many of the things that I'm saying today, but they're worth repeating. Sri Maharaji once praised a woman who went from house to house washing their dishes in India, and she gave, I believe it was 300 rupees. And Maharaji was so happy with that giving because she sacrificed her time and she went door to door asking people, do you have any work for me? And she washed their pots and pans. And she gave 300 rupees towards the construction of Shama Sham Dham. On the other hand, Maharaji scolded a devotee who had given 100,000 rupees, saying that you spend so much more on building your own house and you don't think this ashram that's being built is your own. So it's okay, you can use this. I'm sure you can use this money for yourself. I will not accept it. Maharaji looked at sacrifice. How much sacrifice are we making to do this seva? And how much gratitude we are feeling in being able to do the seva. Anyhow, so Nitya Seva Mangu Shama Sham Teri, and we also say Nitya Seva Mangu Hari Guru Teri. Maharaji had introduced those lines, those words as well. I ask for your seva, O Sri Krishna, and O Gurudev. बोलिए लाडली लाल की जय, श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय. So, are there any questions today that you would like to ask? Interactive session is always very, very good. So, you can raise your hand if you have a question. If you'd like to clarify some concept.
Radhe Radhe Didi, maybe just to kickstart, I can ask something.
I will just go ahead,
Yeah.
Rajeshri.
Radhe Radhe Didi, thank you for for the discussion. But my question was really, I mean, there is usually this feeling, and that after all the lectures and after the kirtans that yes, you have to do seva. Often there could be some amount of hesitance, there is some amount of I don't know, resistance also due to whatever reason, so how how should you kind of push your mind to overcome that, that initial resistance? Once that's gone, it's gone, so how should we completely surrender? I think that's where the challenge is really.
Yes. The mind puts up a barrier and says, no, you, what will happen if you give this or if you do this? And then you have to remind yourself that God and Guru take care of you, and you go ahead and even if it's frightening to you, just go ahead and do it. And you think sometimes about your past experiences also, that I have felt afraid in the past, but when I took that leap and I did the seva, I was absolutely fine. God and Guru protected me, so I shouldn't worry about it. And just by praying to Sri Maharaji that I'm feeling this hesitation, and please help me to get over this hesitation. Just deciding to have more faith in God and especially in your Guru, and by doing that, we can get over that hesitation. But of course, if it is something that sometimes the fear is logical also, that let's say, and I don't know what kind of seva you're talking about, but maybe I couldn't hear you properly, but let's say it's financial seva, and I have $1,000 to my name, and I want to give 1,000, but I have nothing left, or I'll give away 900. I only have 100, but I've got to pay my electricity bill. I have to pay my mortgage. I won't have enough. So sometimes the fear is my fear logical, that if I were to do this financial seva, I wouldn't have electricity in my apartment, in my house, or I wouldn't be able to pay my mortgage, my monthly mortgage. Is it that? And if it's not that, then it's illogical fear. So just by thinking about the greatness of God and Guru and the grace and their protection, we can get over that hesitation. And like I said, because we have felt this before, and then by trusting God and Guru, we were completely fine, then thinking about our previous experiences also will give us the courage to do more seva and not to hesitate.
If anyone else has a question, please come off mute and feel free to ask Didi ji a question. Anyone with a question? Sheila Didi? You're on mute, Didi. You haven't unmuted yourself, Sheila Didi.
Radhe Radhe Didiji.
Radhe Radhe.
Your bhajan was amazing, so beautiful. And this is a new dimension to your satsang that we've been having so kindly from you. And I loved it really. It was so, so beautiful. Thank you. You explaining the meaning and everything.
Most welcome. I wanted to ask you, did the dholak sound all right? Because I don't have a proper setup over here.
Yeah, it was perfect. Thank you.
That's great. Meenu? You haven't, you're still muted, Meenu.
Radhe Radhe Didiji. Thank you for the lecture. I just wanted to ask, you said Manasi Seva is the best.
Yes.
But then you also said Rup Dhyan won't occur if you don't do the other two sevas. So I just wondered, is it possible to just close yourself up somewhere and try and do Manasi Seva as much as possible?
Yes, in case one is not able to do any physical seva or financial seva, then only Manasi seva. Yes, but other than that, the two sevas are extremely helpful in bringing God and Guru into the mind in doing Manasi seva, and so there are three kinds of seva. The best one definitely is Manasi seva when we think about God and Guru, but the other two sevas help us greatly to bring God and Guru into the mind. There was a man who was not able to do physical seva, and Maharaj used to tell us a story about a fellow who did not want to. He didn't want to part with his wealth, but also he could not do any physical seva. So he started doing Manasi seva, but he worked very hard at it, and he became very, very expert. He became an expert in doing Rup Dhyan, in doing Manasi seva, and he would serve Lord Krishna from morning till evening in his Rup Dhyan. And one day he thought it was great that he could do everything. He could serve Shri Krishna in his mind. You'll forgive me if my battery is just almost depleted, and I don't have any way to plug it in. But I think it'll go for another 4 minutes, I hope. If it goes away, please forgive me. So he was making a meal for Shri Krishna in his mind, and he was making all sorts of delicacies, very happy that he didn't have to spend any money. And then, you've heard me say this many times before, I think. I don't know where I said what, but forgive me if you've heard this so many times from me. And he made some dessert, some kheer and rice pudding, and he put some very expensive strands of saffron in that to make it very fragrant and to give it very nice look. The look would be very nice. And as he was shaking that little container of saffron, he put too much in it. And then the miserly fellow, in his Rup Dhyan, he took a spoon and he was taking the saffron out of the kheer. And that's when Lord Krishna appeared and said, "Let it go. Let there be a lot of saffron in this kheer. You didn't spend any money on it, I reassure you." So there's a case. This is an example. Of course, it's just an example, but it's a very powerful example of how you can only do Manasi Seva. Yes, but you would have to make a lot more effort. So it's better to do the physical and financial seva, then the Manasi Seva becomes much easier. But yes, you could do it just by yourself. It would just take a longer time to do it by itself without doing any financial or physical seva. Of course, the only exception is if one is not able to do anything physical to serve God and Guru with, and they have no money whatsoever, so then there's only Mansi Seva.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Well, we have 2 minutes left. If there's any more questions, then I will take that up, or I will just do Kirtan, and I think I'll probably fade away while doing Kirtan because it is very, very low. The battery is very low.
Radhe, sorry.
Radhe.
Radhe Didi. I mean, if it is okay, then I can ask a quick
Yes,
question.
go ahead. Sure.
Thank you. And I think it just. Oh, I think her laptop got shut down.
Yeah, I think Didi's laptop battery is drained off. I'm not sure
Yeah.
she'll join again. But then I believe we are nearly at time, so we need to kind of stop the session here for today. But then you will hear an announcement soon for the next one from Vikas Bhaiya. But thank you so much for joining. Ladli Lal ki
Jai.
Srimad Sadguru
I have a question. Sorry.
Jai.
Jai.
Radhe Amma ki
Jai.
Jai. Jai Jai.
Shri
Shri Ram.
Radhe.
Jai Shri Radhe. Jai
Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
We meet every Thursday or every other Thursday?
It's every other Thursday. So, I think,